Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmerced.com, and what I want to talk about today is what makes libertarianism different. What makes it different than being progressive? What makes it different than being conservative, etc. Now, there are conservative libertarians, people who have conservative values, who have a libertarian political view, meaning they want less government in their intervening in their life, because they want to be able to live by their own conservative values. There are progressive libertarians, those who have progressive values, but have a libertarian political view, where they feel that their goals of basically they feel like government facilitates oppression too much, so they want less government for that reason. Okay, so left libertarians, right libertarians. Both. So I'm not necessarily talking about people with today. I'm not necessarily I'm talking more about a sort of a libertarianism in its purest form, and I don't mean that to say that any kind of libertarianism is bad or good. It's just in the sense that a sort of more culturally agnostic, institutionally agnostic libertarian outlook. Libertarianism, and a libertarian who's libertarian not because they think there's a particular way the world should work, but they believe that if people are free, that people can find the best way for the world to work now. And I think there's a huge amount of libertarians that think this. It may not necessarily be as put together as the way I'm going to be putting it right now, and hopefully by saying it, these kind of movements click, in the sense that circumstances change. The environment is constantly changing, geography is constantly changing, technology is constantly changing, demographics, biology, as far as the different animals that are available, the different plants that are available, the resources that are available, everything is constantly changing. So the institutions, the values, the traditions of one moment in time may not necessarily apply as well to another. And this is sort of where, I find libertarianism particularly valuable, because what happens is that when you do have sort of a top-down, forced-enforced structure, aka sort of a more centralized government structure, it tends to solidify rules that try to solidify traditions and values of a previous generation, where, again, all these things were different. And as things change, it makes it harder to adapt, because the rules prevent you from adapting, because they're trying too hard to hold back the norms of yesterday, when things you can't help have already changed. Again, geography, biology, the environment, the weather, everything is constantly changing. That's just the world. Libertarianism basically has a very different humility than any of the other ideologies that say, hey, we know what's right, this is the way the world should work. This is sort of this static vision of how the world should work. So since you have this static vision of how the world should work, it's okay to have a government enforce that static vision, because that's just absolutely right. That's just the right way to do things. Libertarianism is like, no, there's maybe a better way of doing things now, but the better way of doing things tomorrow may be different. So let's not codify things into law. Let's not force things. Let's not make things static, so that way we can change as things change. And then basically, to me, that makes libertarianism a lot more different. Basically, very fundamentally different than progressivism or conservatism, because there's a lot less of that static view of what works, more than a dynamic view of what works now, in the sense that what works now is what would naturally arise, because people are constantly dealing with those challenges of today, of now. So if you let people act on their challenges of now, you'll end up with institutions, traditions, values, goods, services that reflect today's challenges. And to the extent that there isn't, it's because there are roadblocks oftentimes, because of centralized government structures that prevent those solutions from coming up. So to me, I think that makes libertarianism a lot different. A lot of people will sit there and say, well, libertarians are Republicans who smoke pot, or Democrats who like guns, because they focus just so much on necessarily the policy mix of advocacy right now. But philosophically, it's very different. Again, there's a difference between two left and right views of a static governance structure, static way the world should work, versus a view that society should be dynamic, adaptable, and whatnot. And the way you get dynamic, adaptable, is through freedom. And that's what makes libertarianism very, very different. My name is Alex Merced from alexmerced.com. Have a great day and enjoy. Make sure to check out Libertarian 101 to learn more about libertarianism.